Okay, so there was a quick, like, loop drum groove there. Now, if I was to kind of pigeonhole that, as it were, think like the meters, kind of like a loose, laid-back funk. So I just gravitated around the key of E, like most guitar players do. Played a little riff. I mean, it's based around the pentatonic scale. I mean, if you think chord tones, 8 being there, because it's the high E, flat 7, 5 the B. Great line, actually. And then playing back up, there's a, like, when I try and play things and be instinctive about it, I kind of think in that call and response world. So play an idea and respond to it. So there's the idea, here's the response. Yeah, and that's just from the flat 7 back to the root note, but using that approach tone to sort of fill the gap, you know, squeeze that in. We've kind of touched on that, I think, in the past. Yeah. And play it as laid back as you can as well. You know, that drum groove's great because it is so lazy, and you can really and enjoy that kind of the pocket, you know, where you sort of pull back on the time. And then embellishing it even further, taking that idea of, you know, chromatic back to the root note, play it as little intervals. So that's sort of a partial chord. It's actually the root note with a major third stacked above, and then following your roots as you would there, D to E flat back to E. Yeah, so if you're thinking about those chords, if you were sort of thinking of that in a chordal sense, it's kind of dominance, you know, and we're just voicing it sort of partially, playing those little intervals. You play them down there, like in open tenths or close together. I think I chose that one. Also, you could invert it the other way and play, okay, let's take the root note out. Okay, so it started with a major triad, D to F sharp there. Now if I take the D away, and I've already thought of it as a dominant 7th chord, okay, so dominant 7ths, remember, are root, major 3rd, perfect 5th, flattened 7th. If I take the root out, my other chord tones I've got are a perfect 5th. Sounds a bit weird, but kind of cool. So there's one idea. The other one is that flattened 7th. Okay, so there's my major thirds. Take the root out, where have I got a flat 7th? Okay, think D dominant, flat 7th is C. There's a C. That's quite cool. You could mix them up. Yeah, explore it. But again, in that idea is all about call and response. The idea's there and I'm responding it with a musical phrase. There's a nice bit in that drum groove where the drummer actually lays out. So I decided I'm not going to play anything. Enjoy that space as well. So think, trying to balance up your groove in terms of space and no space, call and response. And experiment, see what works. And remember, if you like the sound of something you've played, that's yours, you know, and it's inspired by what you're listening to and what you're practicing. So give it a go.